The Legend of Las Vegas. Two gifted students become rich overnight. In the mid-1980s, two MIT students, William and Joseph, are bored with their daily studies. Joseph, a scientist, wants to use his analytical skills to find a breakthrough in the casino to make money. Meanwhile, William was bored with school and was looking for a new thrill. He has always been fond of high-risk and challenging things. Convinced by Joseph, the two decided to go to Las Vegas together to participate in the game of mahjong using scientific and psychological methods. They believed that if they utilized scientific principles and rich strategy theory, they could find the cracks in the casino and succeed in making a profit. If they win, not only can they change their lives, but they will also discover a new mode of gambling. But this could be a great adventure for the duo. Before going to the casino, William and Joseph collected a lot of data on the rules, betting limits, and settlement methods of mahjong games in different casinos in Las Vegas. Joseph used his knowledge of probability statistics and operations research from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, to calculate the probability of the endings of different mahjong games. They noticed that the existing rules of the game did not adequately take into account the fact that the odds of winning could be related to the position of each player. In addition, they studied the psychological patterns of people in casinos, such as frequent overconfidence or slow reaction. In response, they planned how to capitalize on these human weaknesses. William and I used computers to simulate the probability of different lottery draws and to train themselves on strategy and situation control. William, on the other hand, utilized his understanding of gambling instincts to study the psychological warfare between people, trying to find a breakthrough to win. After a long period of preparation, they finally developed a trinity system that covered everything from statistics to strategy to psychology. Once everything was in place, they traveled to Las Vegas for their first battle. Bill suggested that they test their strategy by starting at smaller stakes, and Queen Fife, a local casino known for its smallest stakes, became their first stop. At Queen Fife, William and Bill scrutinized the other mahjong players. Using his analytical skills, Bill discovers subtle patterns in the betting behavior of the regulars. He also calculated probabilities based on game theory. In the first few rounds, they placed conservative bets based on Bill's statistical analysis. To their delight, Bill's theory proved to be correct as they won several rounds. This success boosted their confidence in this new, scientific method. As time went on, William's adventurous tendencies became apparent. Buoyed by his victories, he wanted to increase his bets. But Bill insisted on following his own pattern. The different styles led to some heated arguments between the two men. Despite the clashes, their combination of risk-reward perspectives and analytics and intuition eventually worked well. After several successful trials, they left Queen Fife with nearly double their bankroll. Gaining confidence from their initial win, William and Bill agreed to step up the challenge. Bill made luxury casinos such as Caesar's Palace and the Bellagio his next target. These casinos have lavish environments and affluent patrons, which also means that betting limits will be much higher. But this also brings higher potential rewards for the bold. In order not to be detected, they entered the luxurious casinos in disguise and with trepidation. Bill scanned the many mahjong tables and developed a strategy to slowly raise the stakes. They started at a lower limit and continued to cautiously deploy Bill's analytical framework. Bill also gained deeper insights from past poker games as he fine-tuned his model to improve predictive power. Over time, their identification and reading of opponents' trends became sharper, and William skillfully capitalized on these subtle clues. He utilized Bill's statistical analysis to place timely risky bets. Their flawless match and evolving science plus intuition combination proved unstoppable. After playing mahjong in high-class casinos such as Bellagio and Caesars Group, William and Joseph grew to master their opponent's styles and habits. Their science plus intuition tactics also gained an edge. Joseph used mathematical models to accurately predict the betting patterns and likely plays of other players. This has given both men a reputation for foresight. William, on the other hand, reads his opponent's hands and psychology through subtle changes in their tone of voice and body movements. The two men are well versed in the game theory concepts of cooperation and gamesmanship. At critical moments, they are able to eliminate other opponents with minimal risk. Unlike the experienced but conventional landlubbers, William has the courage to bet boldly in order to maximize profits. This also subverts his opponent's expectations of how the situation will change. In several consecutive games of pure skill, William and Joseph caught their opponents off guard with their mastery of mental combat and calculation, and were defeated in successive rounds. In the end, the veteran players who had once dominated the area had to surrender and admit defeat. Over the course of the long night, their huge winnings continued to accumulate. The duo ended up as the new generation of mahjong masters. Word of William and Bill's undefeated record spread and alerted the casino managers. They scrutinized the security footage of the two men in action. The managers noticed that Bill was engrossed and careful in placing his bets. They also noticed William's poker face disguised underneath his reckless demeanor, and details such as the fact that he never lost a joint pot also raised their suspicions. Veteran analysts conducted a high-level investigation by delving into race statistics and betting patterns. Through their accounting, they deduced that the two men may have discovered weaknesses in the structure of the tournament. Concluding that the two men had gained an unfair advantage through non-randomized strategies, the investigators confronted William and Bill directly at the mahjong table. They demanded an explanation for William and Bill's seemingly impossible winning streak. Under coercive interrogation, Bill stammers while William pretends to be angry. Just as it appears that a verbal altercation is about to break out, Bill skillfully deflects and escapes. Now that Bill has become a persona non grata at the city's most prestigious casino, the threat is a serious warning to them. They were blacklisted by the casino, and it all seemed to be over. Although William was also shaken, he was not deterred and proposed a more violent counterattack. Bill reluctantly agreed. So they returned to Caesar's palace under a new alias. Bill adjusted his strategy based on past experience. William, on the other hand, mentally gets into character for best results. But at the luxury gambling table, their fortunes change in an instant, from winning to losing. They begin to panic. The hearts of the audience are also gripped in both shock and delight. On a table full of masters, they were already in the middle of a losing round and were in a position where they could lose it all at any time. In the midst of this desperate situation, William made up his mind, pressed all his savings, and prepared to give it a go. The other players thought he was crazy and called. But what no one expected to happen was, the last card on the flip was the combination William needed. The whole room was stunned, and they won the game by millions of dollars. Not only did William and Bill have a clean slate, but they cemented their place in Las Vegas folklore. For years to come, their kills would continue to be the stuff of legend. It was completely unexpected by all. William and Joseph's curtain call in the most dramatic way possible. This story is not just about gambling victories. It reveals the psychology, strategy, and risk of gambling. Through their story, readers will learn about the excitement and complexity behind gambling and how an ordinary man can achieve extraordinary success at a twist of fate. The story also serves as a reminder that gambling is a high-risk activity that needs to be approached with caution. Although they achieved success in gambling through skill and strategy, his story does not represent the universal outcome of gambling. People should recognize the uncertainties and risks involved in gambling and remain rational and in control of their gambling behavior. That's all for this issue. Thanks for tuning in.